four, three, two. Morning about the whole life insurance industry, man. Look, how was your New Year, bro? How'd it go, man?
Well, you know what's crazy? It started with the last day of the year, and it ended with the new day of the year. So, dude, we were in bed by 11:30, bro.
Yeah, I was out at like 10. I was out at like 10
Yeah.
o'clock, man. New Year's Eve. Yeah. I'm not a
So,
drinker. I'm not a partier. I'm not any of that stuff. So I'm just a boring old dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, hold on. What happened to turning up?
yeah, right. I did say I was going to turn up. Yeah, that was me faking the funk. That was,
Yeah.
out now faking the funk. I was going to be turning up. Yeah, nah, I wasn't turning up.
Here,
I don't know when the last time I turned up was, man.
here's the real
You know?
question, Earl.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how's 75 hard going for you? We're on what, day 3, day 4
Dude,
today?
I just told you, man, before the show started, I had to go to the restroom. I'm like, we're drinking a gallon of freaking water a day. I think I'm at about maybe half a gallon right now. I'll get that extra half gallon in by lunch, and then, I'll finish out the gallon. But I'm in the bathroom. My body's aching. I mean, I think I posted in our little group chat. It's like, the legs were done on Monday. I worked my legs on Monday, and it's like I could barely walk out of the gym. But
Yep.
that's my own fault. I haven't worked out since I don't know when. I don't know why the heck I'm doing 75 hard, but hey,
No. So,
we're going, man.
So, dude, you made a classic. I wasn't gonna say anything, but you made a classic thing that a lot of not mistake, but you were such a go getter on day one that you
Oh
went
yeah,
out and started doing squats and stuff when you probably haven't squatted since whatever time.
man. I only
And
squat when I go to the bathroom, dude. That's about that. That's the only squat I get in. Once or twice a day. That squat. But dude, yeah,
so yeah, bro, 75 hard. We got a group of us doing it. Anybody on here? Messages, hop on. I mean,
well,
it's good, man.
it is good. But here's the stupid thing. All right, everybody's been hearing about the Chat GPT, right?
Yeah.
You've heard about that, right? So the Chat GPT. So I go on Chat GPT and tell it to make me a workout plan for 75 hard for the next, I just said next 30 days. So it spit out exercises every day, twice a day to do. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess this is what I got to do. But it's like,
That's what
I
happens
need to
when you listen
bring it down
robots.
a notch. I need to bring it down a notch, from some of that, because I'm not in my 30s. You got a 53-year-old dude. I'll be 54 freaking this year, and it's like, yeah, dude, I remember doing bench presses in my 30s. Three of the 45-pound things on each side. 3 of them on each side, right? Plus the 45-pound bar. I wish I would go into the gym and try and do that.
Well, but you. So what's really cool? So this is your first time doing 75 hard.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay. I did it last year, and it honestly this time around. Obviously, we're only 4 days in, or today's day 4, or whatever. But
Yeah.
it has seemed a lot easier for me to like just because. So tying it back to insurance. One of the things I was talking to my wife about yesterday.
Mm,
Um, it's almost when you're busier, you're more organized, right? So
mm.
it forces you to structure your day different ways. So every day, I was thinking about it this morning. Every day you go to bed, you feel so achieved because you completed not only 70 hard, but everything else hopefully you needed to do.
Yeah.
And in the morning, right, it's funny. You close your eyes, you go to bed, you wake up the next morning, and it's like, okay, I have a whole other new to-do list.
Yeah,
And
and it is a to-do list, because if you got the app,
yeah,
right, I've got on my app, I got to do my reading, 6 o'clock a.m. That's the first thing that's on that app. 6 a.m., I got to do my 10 pages of reading. 7, I got to be in the gym. It's like, but imagine if we structured our businesses and our lives with that sort of tenacity, with 75 hard, that this is what I'm doing from this time to this time. Because let's just be honest, Gerry, most people are winging it. They're just winging it, throughout the day, and their day is controlling them. They're not controlling their day when
Bro,
it
it's not
comes to
even
selling
most
life
people.
insurance.
It was us, right? So like, look, when
Exactly.
I did it last year, yeah, I lost a bunch of weight and I felt much better about myself. And the eating hasn't really been that hard. I'm doing for the first time in a long time. I'm doing my Fitness Pal, and that's tedious. And one of the reasons I'm
Oh
doing it
yeah,
is because it's so tedious and I hate tedious like busy work, but it's part of getting better
yeah.
and being more meticulous about it. But you know, but then you go back into the trap of like, hey, I'm done with 75 hard. I achieved it. I'm amazing. And then summer
Mm,
happens. And not
hmm.
only do you put weight back on, but mentally you get fatigued and weak again. So you got to get back,
Yeah.
you just mentioned how you had, 345s on each side.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to, by the end of the 75 hard program, you maybe won't physically be able to lift that, but your brain's going to be there and
Mm,
stronger than that. So
yeah.
that's what this is about, right? Is building some structure and some stuff in your business. And you know what's happened in the last 3 days, Earl?
What's that, dude?
I'm doing this. I'm structured, and my calls on my business is doing freaking great.
That's it, man.
Because I'm just like mentally so focused right now on like what I want to get done. So, like helping people is it's a big thing for me, and I want to continue to do that with
Hmm.
not only the families that I work with, but you know, like I'm just enjoying life, man. Like,
Yeah.
we're all reading, right, different books, and
Hmm.
um, it talks about I've been posting some stuff on my social media if you guys have seen it, but you have to kind of trust the process, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a person of faith, right, with there's a reason why you're being challenged with the things you're being challenged with at
Hmm.
every day, every so often. And the reason is because you just have to trust the process. Just because things are really, really down, and some of you may be listening, and maybe your businesses are not where you want them to be, or your personal life is in trouble, or your marital life, or
Yeah.
your parenting life, whatever it may be, right? Not everything's going to be at top tier at all times. So there's always going to be places and things in your life that you got to continue to work on.
Absolutely.
I'm trying that every day, man. I'm I'm far from perfect in a lot of things. I mean, when my business does well, it feels like something else suffers. When something else suffers, so
It's the
it's
way it
just finding
goes.
that consist. That's it, dude. It's finding
It
consistency
is.
and trusting the process. So,
Look, if you, I see it all the time. If if my wife and I aren't on the same page, business is blowing up. You know, if the business isn't doing that well, me and my wife are great, right? Or me and my kids, or me and my parents. It's always something in there. But the thing about this is, I mean, even talking about dirty little secrets, I think the most dirty little secret is just how it is that we respond to what it is that we're supposed to do as life insurance agents. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we come up against different pressures and stresses, right? I think one of the main stresses is dials. That's like the main stress is dials and or cost of leads or something like that. And these are obstacles that are in our way that we have to get past. And
mhm.
one of the main things that I see life insurance agents doing, and it's not even their fault. I talked to a life insurance agent yesterday. He was all excited. He had just got his license, right? And he was going through a captive company, and actually a captive company that I've been involved with, but I didn't say anything.
Mhm.
And they were paying for his license, and they were paying for all this stuff for him to excuse me come on board and work with them. And it's not their fault that they're only getting 35% comp, or that they're having their lives controlled by a captive agency, because that's what it really comes down to me, is control of a lot of different things when you're a captive agent. But every last one of us is recruited into this industry. Some of us get lucky, right? And we're recruited by the right one, or one of the right ones, right? But then, there are a lot that don't get recruited by the quote unquote right ones. And they're being taught things. And here's the thing, I feel like whether it's captive or whether it's independent, the things that we're taught by the agencies that we work with or for, especially in the beginning, is to benefit that agency, not us. That's how I feel. I feel like you're okay. I'll just take you're telling me to buy leads from you, basically. Well, that's benefiting you first, because I got to put the money out. Don't get me wrong. I got to put the money out. I got to get something to get moving. And even you've got the companies out there that want you to recruit first. Well, that's benefiting them first, not you. It's always them first, then us. That's how I feel. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, man. I think at the end of the day, right, we have as much as we want to help people, right.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if you take emotions
Mm-hmm.
and all that out of the way, it's still a business.
Yeah.
All right. So
Hmm.
let's not forget that. So if you're a CEO of a private, or I'm sorry, of a captive company, your number one goal is to do what?
Make that company money.
Make the company
There it
money,
is.
right?
Hmm.
Now the goal would be, as the company makes money, the agents make money. But let's not get it twisted, bro. That happens in
Hmm.
every industry. Okay.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
So
does.
it doesn't like we're talking about life insurance, but that dude, it's not just this industry; it's everywhere, right?
It's
If
any
you go work
business.
for,
Yeah.
if you go work for, let's say education, you go work for a school district. What's the school district's goal,
Hmm.
right? It's not to
Or
graduate
you
all
go
these
to work
kids.
for Amazon, or you go
They're
to
gonna tell you it's to graduate the students, but really the goal is to be top ranked and make money and all this stuff. Like
get
Amazon, same
grants and
thing,
all
right?
that. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who you work for. Like, look, with the ugly little truths about the life insurance business. Look, the truth is this is a cutthroat business. Okay,
There it is.
everybody
Every
thinks
business.
everybody every business can be right, but like at the end of
Hmm.
the day, everybody thinks that you're going to make here, and they're selling you a pipe dream that you're going to be
Hmm.
uber wealthy rich, and 99% of people in this business don't really make it to that kind of success level.
Hmm.
99.9% of the people don't make it to that success level because
Right.
of a variety of reasons, right? The number one thing that people forget about, and the hardest part about folks, especially folks that are not captive, is realizing that you don't work for anybody, you work for yourself.
Hmm.
And you know what's funny, Earl? The people that we cheat the most in our lives is ourselves,
Hmm. Yes,
right? Like
I agree.
when you work for yourself, dude, there's like this freedom that you think you have, and in reality, you have now become a prisoner to yourself. And if you don't like, that's the problem with a lot of folks here. That was my
Mm.
problem when I first started, even part time. Like part time, I didn't have an option. So, but I won't forget this, dude. We had just moved to a house. Like we got whatever. We got a new build a couple years ago, and the side of the house doesn't get any sun. Okay, this is like the dumbest thing ever, but it
Yeah.
doesn't get any sun. Okay, and honestly, for the longest time, I wanted to put rock right there. Just get rid of all the grass and put rock. Okay,
Mhm.
and I had a guy, and I wanted to do something similar in my front yard. And I remember my first week going full time in this business. I had made a little money, not a lot, but like I was like, dude, I can make this money all day nonstop. So I had a landscaper come out to give me a quote, and he gave me a quote for like, $500-600 in the front and a couple thousand in the back. And I was like, dude, I can do this all day. Like I'm gonna make so much money.
Yeah, right, right.
But I talked myself out of doing the side job because I'm like, well, the front job is the more important one, so let's do that. So we did that, and to this day, I haven't done the side job, not because of the money, but because it's like, hey, you may have some money today, but you're not gonna have it tomorrow. So
Mm.
you're gonna have to keep working. So just dude, when you have a little money in your bank account, you start to feel a little bit like you could take the gas off, your foot off the gas
Right,
pedal,
because most people don't make that much money so quickly. You can really get jaded,
bro. Hell
you
yeah.
know.
And it like today, like I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Like there's days that go by that I'm like, all right, man, like I don't need to do that well today. I'm okay.
Mhm.
But that's like one of the main reasons I got back into 75 hard. I'm gonna get a shirt made that says "Be a dog," right? Like
Arr, arr.
you need to be a dog in this business, and I don't mean like mean, rude, or
Right, right,
angry,
right,
right?
right.
But you got to have a pit bull attitude in regards to, hey, like I did well tomorrow, I'm gonna do better today, and better
Hmm.
today, and better
Hmm.
today, and better today. Not only because it's gonna help you out financially, but because you're gonna make an impact in other people's lives,
Yeah.
right? So, dude, that's one of the things, man. There's a lot of cutthroat businesses out there, but unfortunately, out here, we try to bring people that don't have a lot of money in their pockets, right?
Hmm.
And that's a really hard transition to tell you, hey, invest money. That's not something we think about. We're not raised with, unfortunately, right?
Yeah,
It takes
it's
money
a
to make
hard
money,
deal. Yeah, that what you just said. It takes money to make money. We say it all the time, but our actions don't always prove it out because, especially if you've never done it before, right?
yeah.
You can see other people, but sometimes you don't have the confidence we may not have the confidence in ourselves to step out on that faith, right? And there's a
Yeah,
lot of things involved, with that. I'm going to actually later today, I'm going to be making a video on like 20 some odd ways to stay broke. And, one of it's
only
going to be
only
fun.
20, dude.
It's going
There's
to be
probably
20 some
100.
ways, dude. I'll be making it. It'll probably be put out next week sometime on our channel. But there are so many things that can be done differently. And like, I think even talking about the dirty little secrets even come down to what we as individuals are willing to do. And if we are willing to do, not just spend the money, that's part of it, but do the work. That's the other thing. I mean, before we went on camera, I was just telling you about all the, some of the crazy stuff I got to go through. In my position, it's like, it doesn't end when you're running a business. It's a whole other level than just punching a clock. It's a whole other level and dedication. When you start a business, you're going to work more than 40 hours a week. You may as well flat out understand that.
Here's the difference, dude. So let me ask you this, Earl. So
yeah,
with all the things in your position and everything you do with Arturo and everything, I'm sure you don't love 100% of what you do, but like when you do it, do you feel a sense of fulfillment or a sense of burden that you have to do things?
You know what happens? It's like I had to have 2 hard conversations this morning already. One with a vendor and one with an employee. And what I feel after, I do not like going into it, but after it's done and I've done it, I actually feel free. I've accomplished something that I thought would be more difficult than in actuality it was. Just having the conversation that I had to have, the 2 conversations this morning already that I've had to have, even though they were difficult conversations, I maintained my professionalism and so did they. And I knew what was wrong, so I expressed what was wrong. And I think people, a lot of times we can build up something that's not as big of an issue as we think it will be before we go into it. We've already prepared ourselves in a negative light that it's going to be negative, but neither of the things that I did this morning were negative. I accomplished what needed to be accomplished. I maintained the relationships and I built them up. It's like, we just have to address this, and move on. And same thing in business. You're going to, dude, this, you're going to come up with stuff that happens every freaking day. Are we going to do it? Or are we going to try and not do it and just make things worse?
Yeah. Well, and when you had those conversations, right, they weren't meant to be like, oh my God, you guys suck and you're like horrible people. Like
No.
you're trying to get people to be better, right? So the problem is most people don't take constructive feedback very well, and that's also because a lot of folks don't give constructive feedback well. So here's the deal, man. Like, this week, right? I mean, I think it's been in everybody's minds and everybody's heart. DeMar Hamlin and what happened on Monday Night Football.
Oh yeah,
this week, and I've been thinking a lot about that because I'm a huge sports guy, right? And obviously prayers go up to him and his family. And dude, like, it's a couple things out of it that like hit me, right? Like, we all have a risk in our professions.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, obviously, football players have a massive, physical and mental risk, right? Hamlin suffered such a horrible, catastrophic injury, right? And once again, hopefully everything turns out well there. But imagine the rest of the people on that field that play that sport, where their mental state is right now.
Well, yeah, they canceled the game after that happened.
There's a major risk there. Now, comparing that to our business, right? There's always a risk in everything you do. If it's not, and you're just playing it safe, right? Go work for corporate America, and even then, there's still risks that
exactly,
the company falls out or that you don't get the raise. But there's a lot of, like, my wife, right? My wife wants nothing to do with major responsibilities and risks. Like, she's like, hey, I like my job. They tell me what to do. I'm cool with it, and I'm done. Like,
and that's fine.
And there's millions of people that are like that. And dude, I admire that. I wish I could do that. I just, I've never been a good employee.
I can't do that. Neither have I. And I get bored so freaking easy. Dude, I'll never forget. What is this? 1993-ish, somewhere around in there. I got out of the military in 92. I moved back to Maryland, where I was raised. And I got a job at General Motors on the line. It was we were making GMC minivans, right? Dude, people were so excited about that job and having that job. And what I did for 10 hours a day was the same thing. Took a machine, picked up a tire, put the tire on, zoop, 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 all night.
You can still do it.
Dude, exactly. Dude, I was making almost $20 an hour in 1993.
That's good
Now,
money.
just imagine that, right? Working overtime. I just bought a brand new Jetta. I just got a townhouse. I literally woke up one morning. I can't do this anymore. Mentally, it's like there's no challenge. I'm making the money, right? But I'm not fulfilled. Some people are fulfilled not making the money that they could make. But I knew mentally that I could not, and I literally didn't go back to work. It was that hard. It was like physical pain, literally physical pain of me even thinking about going and doing that job again. I
Yeah.
let it all go.
Yeah.
Let it all go. And that's when I literally began my entrepreneurial journey at
Yeah.
23, 24. Because I knew I can't sit at a desk. I can't be in a cubicle. I can't be locked down. You know what the biggest thing is? I can't have anybody freaking telling me what to do. That was like the big thing. It's like, you've had those jobs where you've worked for people and they're stupid.
Well, most people think that their bosses are dumb or stupid or don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing, right? So,
Yeah.
look, dude, I got to say this because I was thinking a lot about it the last couple of days, right? Obviously,
Mhm.
reflection, 75 days of forward reflection is coming. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
the next 10, 11, 12 weeks of this are going to be a lot of that. So,
Mhm.
when I started in the life insurance part time, I was at the time making, 3, 4, 5 grand a month at my other
Mm.
job. And, that got us
Yeah,
by,
but you
but
did what? Last year you did like what, 1.2 with
well,
your
as a
team?
team,
As a team?
yeah,
Like
we
that's
actually
retarded, man.
we actually just got the numbers. So the team did 1.5, which is great, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
look, that's a big team effort.
Hoorah, man.
Whatever.
That's for real. For real.
So, dude, that's a team thing. So, for
Yeah.
me, like everybody's like, oh, that's super exciting, and I'm being a lot pickier in on the team aspect, but
Mm-hmm.
to put it in perspective, right? So right now, financially is a different story. And look, today is good, tomorrow could be terrible, right? So that's one of the things about this business. You got to keep grinding. But
Yeah, yeah.
one of the things that and I don't think I've told Arturo this either, but um, the Arturo Johnson program and the counsel and the consulting and the relationships have literally saved my insurance life. Okay.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I would have quit the business and done something else because you can always make money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Money's not going to be like
Yeah.
you can go make it. But I'm pretty sure I would have done something else because I wasn't being fulfilled. Just like I was doing okay, but just like you talked
Mm-hmm.
about the job you had, at GM, I wasn't fulfilled. It just felt like it was always a lot of drama. Um,
Oh wow. Yeah.
and we didn't know what to do. And I couldn't stay in that bubble anymore. So I had to burst out and kind of figure out my own way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess you could say I took a big risk by doing it because it was like totally different than what we had been getting told to do before.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I started listening to myself and started doing my own real research and not listening to, my uplines and all those things that I said, man, um, this business can be beautiful. You just got to make it your own.
Yeah.
And that's one of the hard truths about this business. You're always going to be coached and mentored and told different things. And, when you're brand new into the business or, you think you found the right team, you're going to listen just like I did. But
Yeah.
at some point, you got to take ownership of your business. And that's what I did, man. And, Arturo and where we've come the last 7, 8 months has been incredible. And I feel like for the first time in my actual, um, I actually am not. I mean, New Year's resolutions are great and all that, but I
Mm-hmm.
just feel really good going into the next, 3, 4, 5 months. I don't want
Yeah.
to look super far into the future because tomorrow's not promised or guaranteed, but um, you just got to look at your map and see where you're heading in the next, when you take a long road trip. Earl, I don't know about you, but I used to drive. I did Michigan to Florida, Michigan to Mexico, whatever. I did long trips.
Wow.
And if I looked at it just like you would look at it in 75 hard, right? But if I looked at it like, oh my God, I got 1,000 miles to go. Oh my gosh. But if I broke it down to 75 to 100 miles every time, dude, the trip flew by.
Yeah, but you
'Cause I
got
had
the daggone, you know the woman on the GPS talking to you. I mean, I've done long trips.
no,
Like,
bro, you gotta mute. You gotta
you
mute
gotta,
her.
dude. I'll never forget. I mean, I drove from Wisconsin to Virginia multiple times. Right, that's like 15 hours, and with kids involved. And then I'll never forget. You get on. I forget the highway, and you get on that highway, and she says, "Stay on route dot 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 for 848 miles." And I'm like, Jesus.
See, Earl, bro, that's a rookie mistake. It's just like when you
That's-
go on the elliptical or the stairmaster or
yeah,
whatever those machines you're going to.
yeah.
You
Cover up
don't
the
get in
numbers,
it.
man.
You gotta cover up the numbers, bro.
Put
Same
that
thing in
towel
this
over it.
business. Same thing in this business, though, right? Like you
Hmm.
got like if you look at your end goal, right? Hey, like I want to hit 300, 400, $500,000 of issue pay business. That's a lot of money. But if you
Hmm.
break that down to the month, the week, the day, right, and you maneuver those numbers backwards, you'll be able to
Yeah.
see that you could probably have they're very realistic numbers, right? Just
Right.
to look
Right.
back at what the last couple of years when I first started to be able to put up numbers, right?
Hmm.
I had this dream and it seemed like, man, it's going to be really hard, but now we're starting to put them up and it's like, dude, we're starting to feel good. And
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe we're not a household name right now, and there are a lot of other people that are. But do I want to get there someday? Sure. Will I get there someday? I don't know. The man above will decide that, but I'm not going to stop
Yeah.
working towards it.
Exactly.
You just got to take ownership and do your thing. So, dude, that obviously it's a big week for reflection. It's a big week for
Absolutely.
activity. A lot of us in the last week have thought about, oh my gosh, this year I want to do this. Well, it doesn't take a new year to do it. It just takes a decision.
It
And
takes a decision.
unfortunately, most people make that decision right around New Year's for some reason, right? Well, make that decision every day. So I told my wife I heard this from somebody else, and I kind of took it. And Earl, for you, right? I've been through 75 hard. It doesn't mean that it's going to be any different, but I told my wife the other day, hey, I don't know if I can finish 75 hard, but I do know I can do this and finish every day.
Yeah.
So if I just finish every day,
Hmm.
right, before I know it, you're going to be 30, 60, 75 days into it.
Exactly.
And you're going to
Exactly.
be like, man, do I start phase 2 or do I need a little break?
Yeah.
So you just, same thing, man, here. Like the insurance business is a beautiful business, right?
Hmm.
At the end of the day, there's not a lot of guarantees in this world, y'all. Like death is one of them. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending how you look at that, right?
Hmm.
We all move on to the next aspect of our lives. And um, you just have to kind of figure out um, why this business is so great. And it's because this is one of the only products ever in the history of products that you can offer somebody that's not tangible, that will for sure be there for their families when they move on,
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
guaranteed, right? Um, so
The thing
you
is,
just got to
it's not
do that.
the life insurance business is simple, not easy. It's simple.
Yeah,
The,
for
the
sure.
processes are simple, you know, but it's not an easy thing to do. And that's why we have only, 8% of people ever really making it. And then going on to the 1%, it's even less than that. But it is about that drive. It is about that, well, what is your why? And sometimes, I mean, honestly, Gerry, people just have to make a decision. Is this actually for you or not? And if it's not, it's okay. It's okay. And I think a lot of times people will do things because they will do things or won't do things because of what they think other people will think of them, that literally have nothing to do with their livelihood or not. You know, it's like, I've gone through that, with certain things. I mean, people know I'm in, like, a lot of people know I'm in the voiceover community, right? And it's like some people in the voiceover community would say, well, why are you doing life insurance? It's like, well, why are you worried about it? It's like, why are you worried about what I'm doing? Why are you worried about how I make my money? Go make yours or whatever. But so many people take the opinions of others over the opinion of themselves too.
They're probably saying, "Hey, why are you in that business? What are you going to try to sell me? I'm your, like, because most insurance." I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're telling me, they're with the company, and they're like, "Hey, like my biggest problem with my company is that I don't have leads, so they want me to make my hot list to call my friends and family." I said, "Man, I hope you have a really big list of friends and family because you're
Yeah.
eventually going to run out. So,
Exactly.
so yeah, people always, I've actually started to not even. This is gonna be bad, but for folks that I just meet, I've
Hmm.
started to ask, "What do you do?" And I'm like, I just help people with their problems.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to even bring up insurance because it's such a negative connotation with a lot of folks. Oh God,
Hmm.
here's another person that's going to offer me insurance, and I don't want to do that. So, and
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
program has helped me not be able to do that. So, but look, dude, one of the things that just came to me, right, about this business, but also just in life, and it's a really hard thing to figure out. For the longest time when I was in school, okay,
Hmm.
I wanted my teacher to not like walk me through how to solve the problem, just give me the damn answer,
Oh,
right?
wow. Yeah.
Like I'm like, give me the answer. So here, same thing in this business. I in the beginning, I wanted people to just tell me what's the answer, and I had a couple people tell me like would give it to me, and I'm like, okay, great, I can always come to that person and get the answer if I need it.
Mm.
But it wasn't until people started coming to me and asking me for the answer that I was like, wait, I studied for this crap. I learned my some of my mentors told me, hey, read this book or read this chapter, read this article to get better.
Yeah.
And I became kind of a product junkie, and I even did like product training sessions for free and all these things for a lot of folks. Um, but you know what kind of struck me is I get a lot of people now that reach out to me, and maybe if they have a question or whatever, I'll gladly help and answer. But this sounds horrible, but part of me is like, dude, I need to start charging a fee, and not to be a jerk or a dick about it. I'm sorry about
Hmm.
that, but
No
like
worries.
here's the reality: when you have skin in the game, you're gonna actually take what they say and
Hmm.
mean it,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
um, in this business, a lot of us want answers, and
Well, here's the
Hermosi
thing we
talks about.
learned. I'll put this down too, because when you pay attention.
That's it, dude.
When you pay attention.
I feel bad. I've had a couple people reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, how can I join your team?" I said, "Well, look, I don't even know if," and I'm being 100% serious.
Mm.
I don't know that I want any more people on the team right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, I'm trying, like, this will help you?" And I'm like, "No, this will working with me will help you." And I say that very humbly. Like, I'm confident that it will help you because I think I finally figured out how to actually be successful, and I've seen other people do it, and we got a great thing going.
Hmm.
But I tell them, I'm like, dude, it's going to be rigorous, and there's not going to be any answers that are just told to you. You got to go out and figure them out. I'll give you the roadmap and I'll give you the outline.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to figure out the work. So I was just going to say, Harmosi talks about, when you're young, what's the best investment you can make in yourself? It's not a 401k, and it's not all these investing in all these, whatever things the government and corporate America tells you to do. It's
Hmm.
taking that, two, three, four, $500 a month that you would take and, invest, and putting it right back into self-development and professional development and things that are going to help you take your business and your money from, $1 to $1 million and 100 million and so on and so forth. Right.
Isn't it amazing how people can ask you how they can make more money, but they don't want to pay you money? Doesn't that sound like totally ridiculous? Wait a minute. You're coming to me because you want me to show you how to get to this level of making a certain income. But you don't think, you can't even buy me a coffee? What? That seems so, crazy to me.
Yeah. Free doesn't mean good per se, right?
No.
And look, it took me a long time, and it's still something hard for me to put my head around because I've always been a giver, right? Like I
Yeah.
want to
I
give,
think
and
most of us are.
I want to pay it forward, and there's a lot of knowledge, but then I've realized that like a lot of folks are just gonna take.
Right.
And I'm not really in a place where I need to like take from others. Like I'm gonna be okay. Like
You're good. Yeah.
if I like I'm gonna be fine. But like I really want to help people, but yeah, man, you don't unless you pay, you don't learn. It's one of the things I'm learning a lot right now. So it's
Absolutely.
tough, man. It's tough. We got to keep figuring it out, brother.
Yeah, well, look, I want to thank Monique for throwing up a couple comments for us. Definitely appreciate you being here, Monique. Gerry, man, this is just getting, as my pastor used to say, gooder and gooder, man. It's just I want to make sure make sure that you do check out the links below. You can join Gerry's Zoom link. He's on Monday through Friday. Get on there, learn how to do this thing as far as making your
Bro, we've been hot too. We've been hot this week.
I know you have. It's the first week of the year, man. You ought to be hot. Everybody ought to be getting ready to go. I don't know why more people aren't on your link. Look, it's right in the description. Hey, look, we've even got at AJC, we've got a free 30-hour course. Go ahead and grab that. Start getting some information from us. Learn. Log on to Gerry's link. And just make a difference in 2023. If you're just going to do the same things you did last year, you're going to get the same result you did last year. You got to change something up. Something's got to change, which means you've got to change in order to make an impact. Am I right about that, Gerry? I don't know, man.
Bro, you're 100%, bro. 75 hard. Let's go.
75 hard. Let's go, folks. Look, make sure you make this year a great one. We're here for you every Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do this thing live, and then you can see the replay on the YouTube channel as well. We'll see you guys on next week. You take care. Hey, I know you just enjoyed this video, but I've got a great one for you right here. Make sure you go ahead and click it right now and get a ton more of our free information that's going to show you how to go from 0 to 100K per month.